So input tricks for fighting games. I'm going to tell you some tricks I use to input stuff and some tricks modern fighting. Some of these are from modern fighting games. Some of these work in all fighting games. So the number one thing, actually, and this is something that everyone should try to do, is that when you do moves, you should have a habit of buffering block into all your moves. I've been talking about this a lot. For the few Metafy people I coached, I tell them this all the time. So when I input 5k, I don't actually input 5k. I usually input 4k. When I input 2k, I don't usually input 2k. I usually do 1k, and I get 1k, 1d, and it gives it to me like that. And when I whiff, I get this. Even when I do 6 normals, like 6p, I go to 4. When I do combos, so my close slash, I don't hold forward, but you see, like, a lot in my combos, I go into block in the middle of the combo. So this is actually pretty important in general. Just make that a habit to put block in, like, basically everything you can. A really common example is, like, if you have problems with, like, dash button, okay, like dash neutral. Some people have problems with this. The way I overcame this, so in this game, by the way, it's pretty easy because you have the dash button, but if you do it normally, you have to, like, let go. A wise man once told me that I should do 4k here instead. So let's say I want to dash here, and this, some people would find it hard because they get dash 6k. So if you do dash 5k instead, you'll be much more consistent. Okay, so just get in the habit of that. So not even just with buttons, by the way. When I'm jumping, look at my lever, right? When I jump, I hold block. When I air dash forward, I hold block. Even in air dash forward where I am vulnerable and I can be hit, I hold block. When I super jump forward, I hold block. When I air dash back, I hold block. And of course, there's dash block, especially for my Dragon Ball players. There's dash block. A buffering block into your inputs will make you cleaner. It will make you get hit less randomly. Let's say, like, Kai does, you know, this. So if you're jumping at him and not pressing a button and you see it, then you have to react in time. And yeah, I got it here, but you never know. You might miss it, you know what I'm saying? You might miss it, especially if you're, like, trying to jump forward. I actually make this mistake a lot where I'm, like, trying to jump forward and switch to block, and I don't switch to block in time because I'm, like, trying to see when they press a button. If you just hold back anyway, you will just get it, and then it's not a problem. If you learn anything from this, it should be that. So next is going to be a couple of, like, input tricks. So if you're new and you're having problems with, like, half circles, for example, you don't have to input them as half circles. One way you can think about this is, like, say you're doing 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, right? This is a half circle. So this is a half circle. The main things that matter is that you have the first input and the last input, and then 2 of the inputs in between. So you could do 4, the whole half circle, or you could do that, right? So I did 4, 3, 2, 6, and the game still gave it to me, as you can see. You could do 4, 2, 6. I think I got it right there. You could do 4, 2, 3, 6. All you have to do is make sure you have the first and last input of it, and then 2 of the inputs in the middle, and the game will give it to you. This similarly applies to 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6. So you can do 2, 6, 2, 6 and get it. You can do it clean and get the actual 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6. You could do. So here I did 2, 6, 4, 2, 3, 6, and I still got it, right? So you don't have to be, like, super clean with it. Especially if you're playing, like, pad or hitbox, you can get this a little bit faster. And this even applies to the half circle back forwards of the game. So this is, like, your winger. So here you see I did half circle back forward pretty cleanly. But you can do, similarly to, like, the behemoth type and stuff, you can do 6, 2, 4, 6. It's gonna be a little hard for me to do. There you go. 6, 2, 1, 4, 6. I still got it. Right? So the game doesn't punish you for missing inputs. They will register the super when you're doing other inputs. Don't worry too much, especially, like, if you're new to the game. If you've been playing fighting games for a while, you definitely got these on deck, especially if you played older versions of Guilty Gear, for example, because to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, you don't have these shortcuts in the game, but most modern fighting games have these blatant input shortcuts. I'm going to use Kai for this one. It's for TK DP, so it's a Tiger Nade DP, also known as low to the ground DP. So you can do 6, 2, 3, and then jump. But you might think that this is kind of hard, right? I'm getting a lot of, despite my input being correct, the game is giving me a TK stunnage, right? You could also try jump and then DP, and because this game's buffer, you can do this pretty quickly, right? So here I'm doing jump and then just DP as fast as I can. But the way I was taught that you can use for basically every fighting game, anime fighting game, is you can do a 360 and end in 3 and you would get a TKDP. There you go. Shout outs to Lord Dora for teaching me this. This is probably like the absolute easiest way to do it. And once I learned this, I never messed this up ever, ever, ever. This I learned in BlazBlue. So BlazBlue doesn't have like, BlazBlue has a decently tight buffer, but there's advanced input. But yeah, this is how people do that. And the way you can tell the difference is actually Kai has a little seal when he does the DP, like the air dash. Where when he does the DP normally, nothing, right? That is a TKDP. that is confirmed a TKDP. I'm gonna need Gold Lewis again, actually. This is what we call the piano technique. This is pressing multiple buttons to have a higher chance of getting your input. With Gold Lewis, it's actually pretty important because he has that. If you're new to the character, this is a really good way to practice not only half circles, but just like getting your inputs really clean. As you can see, I am not a Gold Lewis player, so I'm not super amazing at getting this. But if you can get this, this is really, 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 really good, right? So if you want to like link something here, each time I hit this link, I'm pressing the button twice to help me get a better chance of connecting it. It's a good habit to have overall. Like some players do it for all their inputs, other players only do it when stuff is tight. So there's some parts of the combo where I won't necessarily piano, and there's other parts where I will. With Milia is another pretty good example because there are times where you have to hit like this. So I'm pressing, you saw my input, I pressed the slash button twice. So here I have to do a dash link, which is honestly there's no way to cheat. Maybe in this game I could press the dash button twice, but the other and main thing is hitting that. And so really commonly for that, you hear me do like this. I press the dash button twice to make sure I get my dash as early as possible. Another example is when I do throw into H-disc, I piano the H-disc and the H button to ensure that the opponent doesn't have a chance to mash 6P or jab. So when you want to use this is up to you. Another thing you can use this for, which is probably the most common thing, is for doing reversals. So the reversal window, surprisingly, is pretty tight. So here, generally, I press the heavy button twice here to ensure it didn't come up here, but like I press it twice generally. When I play DP characters, I press it twice as well. There's one more input trick. This one is a combination of like a neutral thing, but also like this is less of a trick and more of a thing that people do that you might not understand why people do it, but then if someone tells you why people do it, you go, oh. This is about, this is actually buffering, like how people sometimes seem to react to things really quickly. It's because they buffer it and they don't press. You might have seen me when I play matches, like sometimes it looks like I'm going like this, and I've actually read like YouTube comments sometimes where people are like, why is LK teabagging the other dude in tournament? I'm not actually teabagging. What I'm doing here is I'm actually inputting my Septum Voices super, so it's this super. And if I see my opponent twitch, basically, I'll press the button. So in this case, sheesh, by the way. Right? Right? Okay. Okay. Got him. Alright, so this is the basically, because I'm doing it like that, it's much faster than doing it the other way. So let me do it the other way. So this time, I'm going to do the whole input when I see him do it. I still got him, but I feel like in a boomer game, I would not get him. I still got him because I picked like a really long one, but I think in a boomer game, I would not get him. But the better way is definitely this, is to do it preemptively and then press the button. You can apply this to a bunch of characters, like Geo is a pretty common example, and you can apply this to every fighting game. Okay,